Bill, this is a good one. Okay. There was a poll done by the Florida Atlantic University poll. And basically, they did a poll on how many people, they went to people that live in Florida and say, hey, are you considering moving out of Florida?
Okay.
And believe it or not, almost 50% of Floridians are saying, you know what, I am thinking about moving out. So obviously I was interested in that poll because, you know, that's a lot, 50%.
50% of all Floridians.
This is what they're saying on average. I'm not
Okay.
saying that I'm not saying that they went to everybody in Florida. They took a sample number of people.
Of course.
Okay?
Yeah, all right.
And I know you like challenging all these topics.
I just
when they
like
come
to
up.
know the information before I go, oh, okay.
But here's what I did. So this one came out, this poll came out from September 30th to October 10th, okay? So what I did is, I was like, you know what? I have a little time. I see so many people. I see buyers, I see sellers, friends, just people. And I ask them, and I tell them, hey, by the way, I have a YouTube channel, and I'm going to do a video about if you consider leaving Florida, and if yes, why? And believe it or not, a lot of them told me, no, I'm not considering leaving. I love Florida, but half of them said, yeah, we considered it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, unless what you think, because it's pretty dramatic when, I'll give you the exact number. I think they said the actual number was 46% of the people that they did. But still, it's pretty high. All right, in the meantime, if you like this kind of content, do me a favor, consider subscribing. It really does help out the channel. And remember, if you need a real estate agent anywhere in Florida or the United States, my phone number is below. Call me, text me, or even email me. It's below. All right, let's get started, okay? So like we said, 50% are considered moving out of Florida due to living costs, okay? So people are like, but here's the thing with that sentence alone, living cost, okay? The living cost is going up in Florida, but it's pretty much going up everywhere else.
Exactly.
Okay?
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Okay. News outlets summarizing the same poll repeatedly describe nearly half of residents consider leaving over affordability. About half somewhat consider leaving. Another 26% say they are seriously consider leaving because of high costs. Only about a quarter of people say that they're not consider leaving at all. All right?
Of the people polled.
Of the people polled. But
not Floridians, because that would mean like 70 some odd percent of the state is wanting to go somewhere else.
But I mean, that's what polls are. They take a sample audience, right, and they go and they ask them a question, and they're like, okay, what is it? Like when I do the polls on thing, it's not like everybody's getting involved.
So,
okay?
But I mean, I just don't want it to sound like all Floridians, because that's not right.
So basically, you think it's just a big clickbait.
Well, when the title of it comes, the survey comes out that 46% of Floridians want to move. Yeah, that's my instant red flag, because it was just too high of a number. That means that's almost 50% of every Floridian. Millions of people want to leave.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Okay, like people love Florida. They move here because I can give you a whole slew of reasons why they move here, from lifestyle to weather and everything. But a lot of people they're saying they're just running the math between the taxes, insurance, HOA repairs. It's just an affordability thing. It's not that they want to leave Florida. It's just they can't afford it. You don't think that's legit?
No, I didn't say that wasn't legit. What I'm questioning as legit or not legit is that 50% of all Floridians are going to leave because of affordability. I just find that very hard to believe. What I think people could have do 50% of people in Florida say they would move if they could save money? I would say that's probably more true. Think about it. Insurance is high, particularly along the coast. Not necessarily inland, but coastal, right? Mm-hmm. But then I go, where could you go? And if you do go there, how long is that great spot going to last until everybody knows about it, and then it's not so great anymore, and all you did was shake the snow globe and the snowflakes fell in different spots.
Listen, like I told you, like one of the number one places people are moving to is North Carolina, and now North Carolina, I'm following the news there and looking at YouTubers there. And they're saying things that we said 3-4 years ago about Florida before everybody moved here. Now their prices are getting driven up, their insurance rates are getting driven up, car insurance is going crazy. Everything that we went through, they're going through now. Because you have to admit, where do people leave when they leave Florida? You know, during on the coast thing, I can tell you this, a lot of people that, the sellers I talk to, they're moving, some of them are just staying in Florida, but they're moving more inland.
Yeah, of course, that makes sense.
But a lot of the other ones are moving, it's always the same places. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee.
Milder climates, not too crazy cold, so it's kind of a middle tweener, if you will. So it's not too bad out of Florida.
I mean, we're still growing. We're just not growing. Like, I know you always beat up these sayings, but because everybody always bases it on the unicorn years during COVID and everything.
Right, it makes it easy because it's more dramatic.
We had hundreds of thousands of people moving here because we were open.
Yeah, of course. I mean, hell, if I lived somewhere else and I was locked in my house, I'd be here too.
So when they say, hey, we have a dramatic decrease in people moving to Florida from 2021, 22, 23 over the last 3 years compared to 24, 25, 26, you know, what's happening, what's going to happen in 26, because not as many people are going to move in. It's a true statement, but
it's context.
It was a unique situation back then.
Context, right? It's exactly what it is. Look, kind of going to your affordability thing. Let's kind of break that down a little bit so we're useful when we're thinking about this, because we do have these conversations, right, with people, and you have to really look at your entire budget. And I know we've done videos on this in the past. Sometimes it's not as advantageous for you to move as you might think it would be. When you look at selling your house, like let's just say we sell the house, you're going to pay insurance everywhere you go. So how much are you going to save between the sale, you know, the insurance you're paying today versus the insurance that you're going to have when you go there? Auto insurance, property taxes, things like that. Now, are your property taxes going to go up or are they going to go down? Depends on how long you've owned the house. We seem to be always comparing somebody who's owned a house for like 2 or 3 years. So there's not much of a difference, right?
Yeah.
But if you've owned your house for 10 years, there could be a significant difference in your property taxes from what you're paying today to buying another house, because we've had we just did it on the last video, 46% roughly equity gains in homes. And that's not just Florida, that's everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places, we were more dramatic, obviously, but there are a lot of places, and there's some that lost, you know, equity and things like that too. But you have to compare apples to apples, not just, you know, I don't want to see people get stuck where they just look at how much is my mortgage payment when you have to do, you know, taxes, insurance, HOA if you have it, CDD if you have it, things like that. Just look at the whole picture.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Food costs, gas, everything.
If you're not in your house the last 7 years, chances are you're going to lose some money when you're selling now. Okay.
Right. It's going to be tough.
90% of Floridians are at least somewhat concerned about inflation, but 56% are very concerned. But
rightfully so.
43% say they live paycheck to paycheck. Another 26% said they do sometimes. So roughly 7 in 10 people strain at least occasionally, you know, to pay bills. Only 48% have an emergency fund that covers 3 months of expenses. The number one reason for not saving is the high cost of living. But when they wrote that and they did that part of the survey, isn't that true everywhere else?
That would be my first question.
I mean, yeah, it's a Florida survey, but I know I just got back from New York and I had a simple breakfast and I know I paid $25 for an omelet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 2 eggs and a toast.
You know, so I know here it's cheaper, but I'm just saying it's just like that. Those questions, I wonder if they take the same survey, same poll, and did it in North Carolina where everybody's moving to.
Right.
If it would be the same.
Right, and then I'm sure if you took it to the people who've lived there for a long time, look how much things have gone up, because they're not used to that, because they've had a massive influx of people. Just like people who are true Floridians here have had a massive influx of other people coming into the state, and it's not what we're used to, and it drove prices up. Because people were escaping, let's just use, you just mentioned New York, they were escaping, high costs of everything, and they come down here, look what they, for their New York wages, what can they buy down here in Florida?
Right.
And then not just New York, there's other states too. Chicago, we just typically talk about New York because you're from New York.
Yeah, I mean, these people get in trouble here in Florida because of they have to replace the roof because they have a mortgage and their insurance being canceled because the roof is 15 years old.
Right.
Okay? Or their AC breaks or something breaks. The big ticket items, people are getting hurt. I mean, I talk to them every day.
Right.
And then they're like, oh my God, there goes my budget. That's why a lot of people can't afford Florida is because of big ticket items that come really fast.
Right, right. And this is where, trying to educate people is important, and doing, videos like this where we do talk about that, but we can't reach everybody. But you should be putting 1% to 2% away every month for your house.
Especially here in Florida, because you literally could get, like, once your roof is over 10 years, okay, between 10 and 20 years, you get a letter in the mail saying, hey, we want you to have a new roof.
Yeah, and there's really not much you can do about it.
No, especially if you have a mortgage. Mm-hmm. But here's the other thing too is what's happening. What I'm noticing a lot is people are becoming aware that, oh my God, I'm gonna have to get a new air conditioner and you have to get a new roof. And now the builders, you do a lot of new construction, so that's why I'm bringing this up. Mm-hmm. But now the builders are competing heavily with the resale, especially in places that have developments. Maybe in your place they don't have new construction,
right?
New development. Mm-hmm. It's not, but over here there is. So people are like, you know what? This roof is 10 years old, 11 years old, and if I buy this house, I might get that letter in the mail, get a new roof, and I don't have the money. So now they have to go with new construction because there's a lot of incentives in new construction lately.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the resale market here, because people can just go and get new construction. Now, Pinellas County per se does not have a lot of new construction. Yeah. We're talking you have a few houses here and there, not like major subdivisions. The county's already built out. So you've got a few homes with new construction. But when you go to counties like Hillsborough, which is just across the bridge, Pasco County, I mean, we're 10 minutes away from Pasco County. There's a lot of new construction because there's a lot of land. Those counties are still developing, especially on the eastern sides.
But those people feel more secure. That's in the survey, on a different survey. People buy new construction because they feel more secure because the house is under warranty, new air conditioner, new roof, new appliances. Well,
that's just any house. Even showing on a resale house that's been renovated, we're looking at those things. Okay, when we're looking at the AC, the roof age, the water heater, the valves, bathroom, has it been fully renovated or just get polished up? But those major systems are things that we do look at, because that's something that, working with a buyer, that I have an obligation to tell them about. Like, listen, you're at some point at that year, so that AC is 10 years old, that's something you need to start planning on.
Yeah.
That roof is 15 years old, you need to plan for that roof right now.
Yeah, 80% of Floridians are concerned about housing affordability. About 49% are very concerned about it. 79% say buying a home is harder than it's been in the last 5 years. Only 51% feel at least somewhat confident that they could buy a home today. That's pretty crazy numbers if you really think about it.
Right, and some of that is also, I think, going to tie into the stringent bank lending policies and practices, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, TV and local reporting points, property taxes, homeowners insurance, the same old corporates,
Yeah.
Especially last year. I mean, thank God we didn't have a hurricane season this year. I mean, we had a hurricane season, but we didn't get hit. I think this is like the first time in a long time, right? We had no named storms hit Florida in the last hurricane season.
Yeah, the one that technically, I guess we're still in it, right?
No,
we're out. No, we're out. It's December already. What am I thinking?
Yeah.
Holy
smokes.
Out. Yeah, we're out. Whew. Yeah. See, I don't even think it's Floridian. We're just used to it.
Okay, is the American dream in Florida still alive, but it's fragile? Okay, 53% of Floridians say the American dream still holds true today, but 42% say it once did, no longer does.
So 53% of
53% of
Floridians that
Floridians,
were polled.
yeah, they think the American dream is still alive, but 42%
Okay.
say anything. 77% still see home ownership as the American dream, but 53%, 0.2, say not very confident in it, but it is a dream. But there's younger people that are investing their money into other things, and not planning to have kids. Like at our age, when we were young, we're like, okay, in our 20s, we're gonna get married, we're gonna have kids, blah blah blah. That's not the way it is these days. You know?
Yep.
I mean, do you think people are giving up their dreams? Do you guys think people are giving up their dreams? Is owning a home still part of the American dream?
I guess that's the big question. I really hope that people aren't giving up their dreams, no matter what they are. Some people don't want to own a house because they want the freedom to just go where they want to go when they want to go.
So this is an interesting one, because back in my day, $75,000 a year, people that earn $75,000 a year feel like they're being squeezed, like they can't afford anything. $75,000 a year.
75,000 is not chump change, but it's tough. Think about it.
In my younger years, I would love to make.
Yeah, but you're also comparing like 1900. I mean,
Nice.
no, but if you think about it, like $75,000, just go to Chili's, right, and get a meal for two with soda, not even alcohol, just soda. Tea, $4 for a tea now. Remember, tea used to be like 99 cents. You know, things like that. So, and I'm not talking back in your day. I'm talking just 2018, 17, 16, Texas Roadhouse. They used to have the lunch menu that was like $9.99.
Yeah.
Now it's like $14.99. So everything's gone up in price over the last couple of years.
I went to McDonald's, I got an Egg McMuffin, it was $6.
Yeah, that's the point, right? So
I was like,
that's $75,000. That's your gross is $75,000.
Yeah.
That's take your whatever 20% off for taxes for easy math. Then you're paying car insurance because you've got that. All the other things that go along with it, living expenses, health insurance. That 75 doesn't go very far.
Well, here's one that I did 2 videos on. Okay, people on fixed incomes, elderly, those people are considered moving out of Florida, and this is true because I did my research on this one. Because of their insurance, their property taxes, HOAs, major repairs, these people are on fixed incomes.
Correct.
So it's not like it just takes them out. They just don't have the money. They're on a fixed income, and it's not like they can work more hours or go to a different job, or,
Right.
They're in a totally different situation. So they're calling up family and saying, hey, could I live with you, or moving out of state?
Yep.
But it's not like they're moving, at least the majority of them aren't moving from one house to another house. They're not doing that. They're like, hey, you know what? I need a drastic change. I'll go live with my daughter, my son, or a relative, or go.
But there's something to be said about planning too, and that's important. And it's sad because I do see it and I hear it, and I have friends that have to deal with it, for their family members, and it's tough on everybody because that puts pressure on the entire family.
Yeah, this is a weird thing. So in the survey, they say, hey, where are you thinking about moving? Carolinas and Tennessee. Yeah, we mean you talk about that all the time. But they also said, a lot of them are saying Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania?
I don't know why. Or,
Interesting.
They're moving, there is some cheap places to live in Florida. Like in the middle, there is some, I went to.
Well, yeah, you can't have your cake and eat it too, I guess.
Yeah, but
it's like, come on.
I mean, there is, like, I drove around Florida quite a bit, and, we stopped to eat at some place. And I always, I have the app, Zillow or Realtor.com or whatever, on my phone, and I can see what the prices are. And literally, I pulled into this one town. It was in the middle of nowhere. 105 for a house, 110, 130. All right, so what does this mean if you want to buy or stay in Florida? All right, let's talk about it. Maintenance matters more than ever. Roofs, electrical panels, water intrusion, wind mitigations. When you're buying a house, you really have to take that into consideration.
Well, you should be putting 1 to 2%, depending on how old the house is, you should be putting 1 to 2% of your mortgage payment away per month to plan for those things. And then if you need it, because you will, It's not if, it's when. You will need that, because at the end of the day, everybody has to remember, the AC gets older just like we do. We all get older every single year.
Yep.
The roof gets older every single year, and those things do break. So do your refrigerators, your dishwashers, things like that. You know, your valves, your hoses, and then some of it is preventative maintenance too, right? That's what the wind or the 4 points are for, is because preventative maintenance, changing out your washer and dryer hoses
Yeah, it's
regularly.
stupid. Yeah.
You're gonna wait until it floods your house to save $55.
Yeah, like I do. So many houses I do pre-yearly inspections. I go in there, I look around, and I point some stuff out that things that could cost them $20-$50 to fix could end up costing them thousands. Okay?
Right. Think about it. You flood your house. Poof.
People that are considering leaving Florida still, okay, you have to acknowledge a few things, okay? When you're saying, okay, I'm going to move to Georgia because Florida's too expensive, okay, you have to really wrap in all the costs. Is your income, your cost of moving, closing costs of selling your house, are you taking a loss on your house?
Like we talked about, taxes,
everything,
food, gas, insurance, auto, repairs, everything has to be, you've got to really truly weigh it out. And when you sit down, you know, and I do these sessions with people when they're buying a house or selling a house, and when they sit down and they're really looking at what their specific scenario is, when you crunch the numbers, how much are you actually going to save? You know, $200, $300 a month. It's not chump change, but it's also,
Right.
Are you going to uproot your entire, you know, you have to weigh all those things out.
I had a relative that left because they said, you know what, my property taxes were ridiculous, and my car insurance is ridiculous, and my homeowners insurance is ridiculous. And I agree with him. Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
Yep.
He moved to New York, okay? Now he's paying an income tax, okay?
State income.
He's paying a state income tax. His car insurance is slightly lower. I'm talking about a couple of $100. Mm-hmm. His property taxes, believe it or not, are higher, okay?
Oh my God.
So, and his insurance on his house is much lower, okay? But after we were, because I just got back from New York, we were doing some numbers, but he also lost money on his house. So he wanted to prove to me that over time, he's going to be saving more money in New York than living in Florida. And we did figure that out. We did figure that out. And it was true, but it was going to take him 42 years.
Oh, well, awesome. Assuming nothing goes up in price.
Yeah, assuming he lives to be 100 and something years old.
Yeah, in his hundreds.
So I'm like, dude, things change and stuff. But I guess what my point at the end of the day is, yes, everybody. I consider leaving Florida. Every time, I'm not going to. But like, if something stupid happens and I'm out of here, I'm done. Like if I go fishing, I get skunked. It never really happens, but if I ever did, I'd be like, I'm done.
Yeah, right.
Hey, there is no perfect place to live.
There isn't.
There isn't, okay? Like me, trust me, I pretty much checked out every state other than Alaska. Where do I want to live, okay? And not only did I go to the state, in a lot of states, I bought homes and I actually lived there. At the end of the day, Florida ended up being the best state for me, okay? And now I'm just too old to do all that stuff. You know, move and check it out and stuff. But again, I could name you tons of people that moved here and are like, you know what, this summer was brutal and it's too freaking hot. I'm going someplace. And that's why they're called halfbacks, because they're ending up in the Carolinas or Tennessee and stuff like that.
Eventually, everything's going to get really crazy expensive there too.
So do me a favor. If you guys live in Florida, okay, comment below if you're considering moving out of Florida, and if you are, why?
When? Like yes, are you considering it? Why? And like how soon? I think that's important.
You never got to a point that in your life that you say, you know what, I'm done with Florida, I'm moving out? You never considered moving out of Florida. You were born here and you're raised here.
Yeah.
You ever considered leaving?
No.
You drank the water too much. Of course
No.
you would. Not when you're younger, like, okay, I'm going to go live someplace else.
Orlando.
Jeez, nothing like big hour and 20 minutes away, huh?
Yep, big hour and 20 minutes away. But think about what my life was like, you know? It's like I started in the fire service very, very young. And, you know, so you're kind of locked in, you know, for your 20 plus year career. But, you know, I think I've never thought that I'd want to live somewhere else per se. Because in the grand scheme of things, out of places I've traveled.
I'm going to call him out on something because he told me something. I shouldn't say this on camera, but he's like, you know what? I might go live outside the United States.
Well, you asked if I moved anywhere in Florida, but I would move out of the country, yeah.
Okay. But that's leaving Florida and stuff.
Yeah, the premise of the video is about moving to another state, not another country.
Yeah, but you did consider, it's like, you know what?
Oh, no, I would. There's 100%. I can think of like 3 or 4 places that I would move out of the country.
Yeah, Tanya wants to buy a place outside the country too. And everything.
I just don't know that I would want to live there permanently.
Mm-hmm.
You know, traveling to a couple of them pretty frequently over the years, it's not that hard to do, but it would be a very drastic lifestyle change no matter how awesome the place is.
Yeah, sure.
It's different.
Anyways, what do you guys consider? Tell me what you guys think about this whole subject. If, you know, even where you live now, you might be living in California and you're like, yeah, everything you just said is true here too.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah,
but
let us
anyways,
know.
Again, consider subscribing. It really does help. It's really motivational. I know I keep saying it. I know I don't like saying it, but I'm trying to build up the channel. And watch this video right here. And remember, if you need a real estate agent, just call me, text me, or email me. My phone number is below. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.